Hello, book lovers. Welcome to Must Love Books. Okay, so we are officially recording.
Awesome.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
I am doing awesome. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself for us?
Sure. I am Katie Thompson or KT Gray. I go by both when I narrate. And I am a audiobook narrator. I live in Georgia with my husband and my 2-year-old daughter.
Awesome, excellent. So, how did you get started with audiobook narration?
Well, I've always been a big reader and I've been in theater since I was, oh gosh, about eight or nine. So I have a performing background, but I never even really listened to audiobooks until I had my daughter um 2 years ago. And I was staying at home for maternity leave and I just was like, I got to get out of the house. So we were on these long, long walks together. And I started downloading books to listen to. And that was kind of the first time I had gotten into audiobooks and absolutely fell in love with it as a reader, as a fan. And I mentioned my performance background, and I was really, really interested in the whole process of it, just out of curiosity. So I started doing some research, started following some people on socials and TikTok and Instagram that were narrators, and just really kind of dove in and decided this might be something that I would be interested in doing. I hadn't been able to perform in so long because of COVID and being pregnant and having a
Mm-hmm.
baby. So I was really, really thrilled at the prospect of having another avenue that was something I could do from home, in between, when my daughter's napping or when she's goes to bed at night. So yeah, that was kind of how things got started. And I did tons and tons of research, talked to a lot of people that had been in the industry for a while, and yeah, I got all my equipment, set up my booth, and started auditioning.
That is awesome. So, you work from home. This is a job
Hmm.
that you can do from home. Can you tell us
Absolutely.
about your audio booth that you use for recording?
Yes. So it has evolved over the year that I've been doing this. I started out with basically in the corner of my room with PVC pipes and moving blankets, which if you talk to people in the industry, at one point or the other, they've been in a closet or in that moving blanket PVC pipe booth. So it was kind of makeshift and it worked great, actually. I was able to get pretty good sound out of that, but it was tiny. I was like so claustrophobic in that tiny little corner. So about 6 months ago, I kind of upgraded myself to a new booth. It's still DIY, but I have these soundproofing panels and these heavy duty sound blankets behind me. And I expanded so I can have a little bit more room and kind of works as my office. I can hide away in here and work when I need to. So, yeah, that's what I'm working with now. I would love, love, love to upgrade to a real, studio booth one day. So that's kind of on the wish list.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. And I like that you can literally start with just some blankets and piping. Like it's so simple. It's something that you don't have to put a whole ton of work and funds into to get started with. That's really cool.
Yeah, I think there's the a kind of misunderstanding of like I need to go buy all the expensive equipment when I first start. And of course, it's important to have a good mic and to have a soundproof space before you start auditioning or doing books. But jumping in and buying like, $7,000 worth of equipment might kind of come and bite you in the ass in the long run. So it's nice
Yeah.
to and I'm a big DIYer. So like I am like if I can do it, if I can figure out how to do it myself, I 100% will. And I love to build and craft and do all that stuff. So it was kind of a fun project.
Yeah, that's really awesome. So how did you go about getting started in the actual business side of this, booking clients and getting books set?
Yeah, so I started out recording samples, which if people don't know what that is, it's basically just examples of your work. And I started out just doing some royalty-free, like older books, like Peter Pan, stuff that's not, copyrighted anymore, so I wouldn't get in trouble there. And I started on ACX, and that is Audible's platform to connect narrators and authors and audiobook producers. So I uploaded my samples and then started auditioning for books. Now, I actually do have a background in sound engineering and media and production and all that stuff from my master's degree. So luckily, I did not have to send my audio out to an engineer at the beginning. I was able to do all my editing because I have that background. So that worked in my favor. And yeah, I got a pretty good response. And then about 9 months ago, I started having people reach out to me, surprisingly from TikTok. I made a profile on TikTok, and it kind of like connected me with this amazing book community and authors. And I was able to really start making some connections and network on there. And I've had people reach out to me since then. So I haven't auditioned in a while, but I've loved being able to actually make these one-on-one connections.
Yeah, honestly, Book Talk and Bookstagram have been so huge for this industry, especially for indie and self-published and, people who work for themselves and not necessarily for a larger publisher or a corporate style publisher.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. It's fun because as I would consider myself kind of like on the indie side of things. I don't work for a publisher either. I have, but I freelance. So it's really great to kind of have agency over, hey, think this person would be great to work with, and I can reach out to them, and there's not so much of a barrier.
Yeah, and I feel like we can make like a much more personal community this way
Yeah,
as well. Like I've
absolutely. It's
really
been
gotten to
wonderful.
know so many people and I've made so many connections that I feel are gonna stick around for a long time. And these are all people that I would not have known at all if it wasn't for Book Talk and Bookstagram.
100%. I have said this a lot over the past couple weeks, but reading to me had always kind of been a very solitary experience. It felt a little isolating at times. I never really had people to talk about books with or anything. So when I found this community, I was like, oh my gosh, what a breath of fresh air. There's people that like what I like. And I'm actually going to a couple of events next year to sign as a narrator. And I'm like so excited to meet these people in real life because we're all kind of going either as readers or influencers or authors, narrators. So I'm excited to get to merge my online friends into real life friends.
That is really awesome. Why don't you tell us more about that you're going to?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see, in May 31st, I'm going to Hot and Steamy in Portland. And then
Love the name.
yes, I'm going to two hot and steamy events this year. Very excited. Um, but then in August 29th, I'm going to Dark Star Con, which is the first audiobook convention that's put on by the amazing Troy Duran, who I'm actually doing a book with right now. So that's going to be exciting to meet him and everybody there because it's going to be all about audiobooks and there's going to be a lot of exciting stuff.
That is really cool. And you said that is the first one, the
This is,
first
yeah,
convention?
yep, the
Yeah.
very first audiobook like focused book convention. So it's kind of a
That
brand
is
new frontier.
amazing.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
really
that.
awesome. So, and then September 27th, I'll do another hot and steamy event in New Orleans. Dark Star Con is in New
Mm.
Orleans too. So I'll be back to back in New Orleans in those months. And then Books and Bourbon Spooky Soiree is in October. And so that's going to be a really cool event. There's a masquerade ball after the signing. It's going to be very, very
Ooh.
fun. And that one's in Kentucky. Yep.
Wow. So you get to do a lot of traveling too.
Yes, yeah. I After years with COVID and having a newborn, I was just such a homebody. So this is going to be really, really fun to get out there and travel again and meet
Yeah,
people. And
seriously.
so yeah, I'm thrilled. And it's all events where everybody has similar interests. So
That is amazing. And I have been to New Orleans a couple times myself. I was actually just in New Orleans in October of 2023 with
oh,
my mom and a couple of friends of ours.
fun. I bet that's a really fun time to be there.
Yeah, it was really cool. We went for the Crew of Boo Halloween parade,
Oh,
which was so fun. and it was just amazing. I always love going down there for, the food and all the music, and honestly,
Yeah.
just looking at the houses. They're so pretty.
100%. Yeah, the last time I was there was for my bachelorette party. So I think that different vibes this time.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah, and I'm excited to maybe do a little bit more, sightseeing and all that. So,
Yeah, well, definitely. I will give you a list.
oh, please do. Yes. Any recommendations? I would love that.
Yeah, that is awesome. So what is it that you are working on right now?
So right now I am recording Tequila Tuesdays by J.L. Brannick, and that's going to be done in duet with Troy Duran. And it is the second book in the series. The first one was Martini Mondays that I did with John Lane. So it's a very fun, sexy Palm Springs kind of rom-com, but definitely has some deeper topics that get touched on. So it's really fun, very, very, very sexy guys in this series. So that is what I'm recording, that one, and also The Kingdoms Collided by G.K. Archer, which is also the second book in their series, which is a fantasy romance. So two very different vibes.
Yeah,
It's fun to go
different
back and
vibes.
forth.
Yeah.
Yep, yep. And then I am prepping Saints and Sinners by Stacey Rush, which I'm doing that one under my KT Gray. So it's my first reverse harem romance novel I'm very excited about. So that's what I'm working on right now.
Wonderful. That's great. So it's really cool that you have so many, not only just different projects, but different styles of projects lined up. So you really get to kind of step outside and experience a lot of different types of genres, it looks like.
Yes, yes. That's what I love about romance in general. And I think it's kind of a misconception that people have about romance. They didn't realize how diverse it is when it comes to the different genres and different tropes and different ways that people approach it. So it is really, really fun. I mean, as somebody who would just be reading these books anyway, because I love them, it is just really an honor to be able to kind of bring them to life through audio as well.
Yeah, that is awesome. I love that.
It's fun.
So, how many do you, if you even have kept track, how many different books do you think that you have narrated for?
Let's see. I finished 2023 with 10, I believe. So that was my first full year of narrating. I had my first anniversary in December. So I did 10, and I actually have my daughter full time. So I don't do this full time. And that's when I work with authors. I'm like, there are some amazing narrators out there who are 8 hours a day in the booth, and they can churn out a book in 2 weeks. And oh my gosh, I would love to be able to do that. But so I work a little bit slower just because I am a full-time parent. But yeah, I think this year I have five or six that are booked already. So I have a couple slots open at the end of the year, but with all the traveling I'm doing, who knows? I might
Yeah.
give myself a little break. We'll see. But yeah, I think I'm going to be ending this year hopefully around 15, 20 books.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited. I had no idea where this was going to go or if I was even going to be successful at it. So I'm still like pinching myself a little bit every day that people are excited to work with me because I'm so excited to be working with them.
Well, it definitely sounds like it's working out, and that sounds amazing.
Thanks.
So, one question for you. You said that you have done and you are doing one now where you narrate an audiobook with another narrator. How does that
Yes.
work when there's two of you or more working on the same book?
Yeah. So usually when there's two narrators involved, it's either dual or duet narration. And I don't know if everybody's familiar with the difference, but excuse me. The duet is where it's back and forth in each perspective. So if you have a scene and there's the two narrators, the male is reading all of the male parts and the female is reading all the female parts. So it sounds like a back and forth conversation. And then do a dual is where you switch POVs, but if you're in the female POV chapter, you're reading all of those parts, male and female, and then it'll switch over. So it's very different. And for romance, it's getting really, really popular that duet is becoming kind of the thing that people like to hear the most. And even these multicast, like 10 narrators in there doing all the different parts. So it's getting really, really interesting to listen to. But basically, everybody has a different way of working. But the way I do it is I prep my whole manuscript. I go through and either I highlight all of the male parts or either the author or a PA will. And I do that obviously for my own prepping for character work and understanding all that. So I know the full story and the character arcs and all of that. And then when I go through, I basically just stop and I clap when the male part is just for my editor. So he knows when to insert the male parts. And yeah, and I just usually have to send everything off to the editor and they do their magic and put everything together.
That is really cool.
Yeah, it's an interesting process. And it kind of took me a while of trial and error to understand what worked best for me and what worked for the male narrators that I'm working with. And yeah, it has worked out really well so far. And I know some people will do it live in the booth. And so you really get that back and forth
Yeah,
vibe. And I know some people
definitely.
do that. Yeah. So unfortunately, I have not had the chance to do that yet. Maybe one day. Sounds like a really, really cool
Yeah.
option. But right now it's just me and my booth, and I get to hear everything put together at the end, which is a fun surprise.
Yeah, that is really cool. I love that. So then doing a live narration, that would be so cool.
Yes, a little intimidating.
So out of all of the books that you have narrated, what one was your favorite?
Oh gosh, that's a hard question. That's like asking who's your favorite kid.
Well,
I don't know if
fortunately, you
I
only
have,
have one kid, so you don't have to
right, I
answer
don't have
that
to
part.
choose yet. Yeah, that's an easy answer for me. I don't know if I would necessarily say I have a favorite. There's favorite things that I have about each one that I've done because, like I mentioned, the process is a little bit slower for me. So I usually do about 90 days a book. So it kind of is like you're living with these characters for a couple of months. And so you get to know them in different ways. And yeah, I think I have different favorite things about each one. I don't know if I could pick out a certain one, but it is so different for each one because like the book I'm doing right now, it's a little bit more rom-com and I'm in Palm Springs and it's back and forth banter. And then the next day I'm in a completely fantasy world with fighting and magic and all this stuff. So I don't know if I could choose a favorite, but I do I love getting to kind of experience these different things with each book, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you are getting ready to narrate a book, do you read the full book first? Do you read sections and then get ready to narrate them? What is your process?
Yes, I do read the full book first, and I'll tell you why. Because, and I'm sure every narrator has either heard horror stories about this or has experienced it, where they don't read the full book first, and then they go in and they've recorded 19 chapters. They get to chapter 20, and they realize the character that they've been voicing for the past 19 chapters has an accent, and they have
Oh
not been.
no.
Yeah, stuff like that will happen if you don't read the full book first. And I mean, just like if you're you know doing a play or you're in a movie, it makes sense to read the full script first so you know where the story is going, where the character arc is going, and you can really adjust how you're narrating them based off of where you know they're going to end up. So I think it makes a difference in the performance as well. So all very important stuff to be prepared for before you even sit down and record the first chapter.
Very cool. So, what advice would you have for someone completely new to the field who wants to get started?
Yeah, I mean, I am still very new myself, so I am learning every single day. But I'd say the biggest thing is, it is very intimidating getting started, and I know that because I felt it, and I still feel it sometimes. And there is so much research and so much information, and so many people out there willing to help and answer your questions. There are communities that are going to feel a little gatekeepy. Just stay away from those. Don't let those people intimidate you or make you feel like you shouldn't try. But also a healthy dose of just understanding. I need to understand what I'm getting into. I need to do my research, get all my equipment set up, soundproof space. Do all that first before you start auditioning, because the last thing you want to do is send off a product that you're not proud of. And you don't want anybody's work to be your training wheels, even though we learn every single project that we do, and every single interaction that I have in the booth, I learn. But these authors spent years sometimes creating their work, and they want to have a great audiobook. And so if they're trusting you with it, make sure that you're giving them the very best product that you can. And so even people do coaching. If that's something that, if you don't have an acting background, or if you don't have any kind of technical background, understanding how your mic is going to work or how the recording DAW is going to work, it's good to just get with a coach and have all of that, that you can do one-on-one questions with, so you understand what you're working with before you jump right in. But yeah, just try. I mean, it's a really, really cool thing. It's not easy though, because I do see these TikTok videos that are saying, hey, you want to make $400 an hour by just reading? It's like, that's not it. It's not it. This is not a get rich quick field, unfortunately. This is a field for people who are extremely passionate about it, because it takes a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of patience. It can be lucrative, but it's definitely not something that you're like gonna just make a bunch of money off the bat. So I know that's a lot of information, but for anybody who's interested, the website Narrator's Roadmap really, really helped me. It is a treasure trove of information. And it has a search capability, so you can go in there and really dive deep and have a lot of your questions answered. And there's some great TikTok voice actors and voice artists that have just dedicated their whole profile to education. So yeah, just look around and see if you can connect with people. And there's, like I said, a lot of very, very generous people who are willing to answer questions and share their knowledge as well.
That's amazing. I have seen some on TikTok that will actually do like a TikTok live stream as they are practicing some of their recordings, and it is
Yeah.
so neat to watch. But it brings me to the question is, how do you handle like bloopers when you misspeak or say something incorrectly, or you're like stumbling over a sentence or anything like that? Is that something that you experience?
Oh my gosh, constantly. Yes, yes. All the time, all the time. Yeah, you would never know from the finished product, but hopefully. But yeah, there are certain days, just like any job, where my brain is slower, my mouth is not moving correctly, or I feel off, or I'm tired, and I can just tell that I'm just not performing well. And there are other days where I'm like just on a roll and it's flowing. So just like any other job, you have off days and on days. But yeah, I do something punch and roll recording, where basically as I'm recording, if I mess up, I just stop, delete that, and then pick back up. And that's mainly for the editor, so it's easier to put things together. But yeah, it's very rare that I am just perfectly reading page after page after page. I'm sure after years of doing this, people are able to do that, and that is my goal, to get better, and not have as many stumbles. But yes, I do definitely experience that.
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking, I'm like, if I ever did this, half the time I can't even speak normally as it is. And like, oh, man, what would I do if I had all these like misspokes and stumbling over my words? And I have seen some
Yeah,
people,
and that's
post
something
on
for
that on
people.
TikTok. They're like narrator bloopers.
Oh yeah. Yeah, some of them are funny. Some, like, it is sometimes insane what comes out of my mouth. I'm like, "What?" But yeah, that's something for people interested in getting into this as well. Like, if you want to just kind of know, one, if you're going to like doing this, and two, if this is something that you feel like you could put up with, is to take a book and just sit down and record yourself reading it. Like, get through the whole book. And if you can, and you're like not completely frustrated by the end of the first chapter, that's a good sign and it's good practice. Because a lot of people, if they said, oh yeah, I'd love to do audiobook narrating, and then you actually get them to sit down and try to read a book aloud, they're going to get really frustrated really quick. So
So
it's
it
a
is
good
something
indicator.
that where
Yeah,
practice makes perfect.
yeah, it definitely helps. And I have help as well from a platform called Posotron, which is, it kind of scans my files that I've recorded and it scans it against the manuscript to catch any mistakes, because it is crazy that you just don't even realize that you left out an and, or you added an s on the end of a word when it shouldn't have been there. So that definitely helps me catch anything that I might have missed when I was recording.
Yeah, that's got to be really useful to have.
Yes. Oh my gosh. When I found it, I was like, thank goodness, because otherwise there are, actual human proofers as well that do this as their job, and they listen and they read. So that's an absolute option as well. But unfortunately, I don't have the funds for that yet. So Positron is my friend for now.
Okay, so we are going to step into your life as a reader
Yeah.
and ask some questions about your favorites and how you read, and then we're going to play a little bit of this or that. So I'm going to
Great.
start off with, what are you currently reading for fun right now?
Okay. What I'm currently reading, I have all of my list right here. So because I usually have a couple of books going at once, but let me pull that up. So what I'm currently reading, which I am obsessed with, is Entangled and Ensnared by Rebecca Quinn. I'm sure if anybody's online listening to this, you've come across her work, but the audiobooks were produced by Blue Nose Audio, and it's that 10 narrator cast, multicast audiobooks, and let me tell you, it is an experience. I am so impressed, not only by the performances, but the technical back end work that I know had to be done with that many narrators. It's just like mind-boggling, so impressive. And just the work. Rebecca Quinn has written an amazing, amazing story, and beautifully deep, very interesting characters. And so it's been a really fun read so far, and I cannot wait for the third book to come out.
Well, I will be immediately adding that to my TBR.
It is good. It is very spicy. It's a reverse harem. It is very spicy, but I mean, the love story and the relationships and the connection, it's an apocalyptic setting too, which is new for me. I'm like really into
Wow.
apocalyptic TV shows and movies, but I've never read a book set in kind of this apocalypse landscape. Like, so it's just really fascinating for that element alone.
Yeah, that sounds awesome and very unique too. I don't think there's very many apocalyptic dystopian romances out
Right.
there.
I have never read one. So this was totally new to me, and I just love everything about it. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, time for a whole new genre.
Yes, absolutely. I think once people read her work, they're going to be really interested to hear more.
Yeah. So what is your all-time favorite book?
So it's a series. It's the Ravenhood series by Kate Stewart. I mean, I know it's so popular for a reason. But when I listened to it last year, I can't tell you. It's like I felt like a kid again, where I was bringing a book to the dinner table. I was sneaking it into school. That's how I was as a kid. I just could not unglue myself from books, and I got that feeling again. Like it really, really, really pulled me in. I love all of Kate Stewart's work as well. I mean, just anything she writes is so powerful. But that series just got me. I loved it.
That is awesome. What a great review too.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I could talk all day about her work and Maxine Mitchell and Joe Arden's performances and everything. Yeah, it was just all impressive all around.
Awesome. So we're going to do a little bit of this or that. I'm going to give you one item and another, and you're going to tell me which you prefer. So we're going to start with
Okay.
coffee or tea.
So I don't drink coffee, so I would have to go with tea. I'm a Diet Coke girl, actually.
Coffee or tea? Well, Diet Coke.
But I do like tea. I do. So that'll be my choice.
Reading at a beach or reading in front of a fireplace?
Oh. Okay, probably fireplace, just because I've had bad experiences of my book getting completely ruined at the beach. So
Oh
I have a little
no.
bit of trauma from that. But yeah, yeah, probably just cozy fireplace. Sounds wonderful.
Yeah, the beach can be a little dangerous sometimes.
Yes. Yes, yes, and loud sometimes too.
Okay, so we know you do a lot of audiobooks.
Mhm.
But what if you had to choose between paperback or Kindle or any other kind
Oh.
of e-read?
I would say paperback. I'm the kind of person that like loves the smell of old books. I love going into bookstores and libraries. Nothing against like a e-reader or anything. I just love a physical book, you know.
Absolutely. Standalone novel or long series?
Oh, long series. Yeah. If I love it, just and I can get more of it, 1,000%.
Just give me more.
Just give me more. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love a spin-off novella, like anything you can give me.
Now, outside of romance, what genres do you enjoy?
I would say probably thriller mystery kind of genre. I haven't read a lot outside of romance this year just because it's kind of been uh what I enjoy listening to it and reading it, but it's also kind of been market research and for my job as well. But yeah, I'd say mystery thriller if I had to choose.
Awesome. Excellent. So, do you have anything else that you would like to share for our listeners?
Um, no, I'm not sure when this is going to come out, but if anybody's attending these events next year that I mentioned, please get in touch with me. I have a TikTok and Instagram. I would love to meet as many people as possible. It's going to be my first time going to book events, so I'm really excited, but also a little nervous because I'm going alone to most of these. But I have a feeling that I will meet friends quickly, hopefully. Yeah, so I'd love to meet anybody in person. And, you know, I do have a couple of slots still open for 2024. If there's any authors out there that are interested in having an audiobook made of their work. And yeah, if there's any other people that just are interested in doing any collaborations. I love doing fun stuff on TikTok all the time with authors, other narrators. If you have a fun project that you're working on and you want to reach out, I'd love to connect.
So, how could prospective authors contact you? What is the best way to get a hold of you?
Sure, you can go to my website, which is bookkatiethompson.com, and I have a form they can fill out or they can email me. I'm checking my socials all the time, so I respond on there pretty easily as well as Katie Thompson narrator on TikTok and Instagram. So you can always DM me or email me, and I usually get back pretty quick.
Excellent. Well, I think that really covers everything for us for today.
Awesome. Thank you
So
so much
let's
for having
say
me.
a good, why don't you give us a little farewell message?
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me. This has been a blast. I love, you know, talking about books and audiobooks, and I'm just really, really excited to see where the audiobook industry is going, and I'm excited for more people to be listening.
I love that. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Katie Thompson, as our guest today, a audiobook narrator, and I will be sharing all of her website and social media links both in the episode description on Spotify as well as on the Must Love Books podcast Instagram and Facebook pages.
Awesome. Thank you.
And thank you. Thank you, everyone, for listening. This has been Must Love Books. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Patreon under @Must Love Books Podcast. Thank you and happy reading.